Several areas of Victoria are under severe weather warnings after heavy rain and flooding. 100 millimetres of rain has fallen in some regions, potentially flooding catchments already full from last week's rain. Victoria's State Emergency Services is warning flood-prone areas are at particular risk, reminding residents to take necessary precautions.
If you're living in a flood-prone area, please make the necessary plans, especially people staying in caravan parks and camping along creeks and other waterways. Falling tree branches and flash floods are the highest risk. And please don't drive through floodwaters. You're driving a car, not a boat.
The severe weather is being caused by unusually high levels of moisture in the air, combining with a strong low-pressure trough.
Given the amount of moisture in the atmosphere, we could actually see totals around 200 millimetres through the north and the northeast. So we have issued a number of warnings. A flood watch has been issued for much of central and northern Victoria with the risk of minor to moderate flooding. And through the rest of today, we are going to issue a severe weather warning for heavy rainfall covering large parts of central and northeastern Victoria.
And joining me live now for more on this is Victoria State Emergency Services State Agency Commander David Baker. David, thanks so much for your time this evening. I imagine that you're really busy. This is a big weather event right now occurring in Victoria and many parts of Australia's eastern inland, sparking hundreds of calls for help to emergency services. How's it going at the moment?
Yeah, good evening, Sam, and thanks for having us on. You're right, there's a bit of weather coming through Victoria and will continue coming through Victoria over the next 24 hours. We've seen some impacts already in the western part of the state, and we're monitoring some of that severe weather through the upper part of western Victoria around that Mallee area, Mildura, Oyen and the surrounds. Warrnambool was impacted earlier today with about 60 jobs for our local crews out there and some flash flooding impacts. The weather tonight's going to cause us some concern with the potential for overnight flash flooding, predominantly in the northern and northeast areas of the state, but also down into the northern and eastern suburbs of Melbourne with the rain that's expected. So flash flooding is a risk tonight. And then as those rivers in the northeastern and northern catchments fill up over the next day or so, we're going to see the potential for riverine flooding in certain towns, potentially in that northeast and northern area from Monday onwards.
So the wild weather has certainly picked up today, and we heard earlier from emergency services in regards to the fact that it is still a holiday period for many families and people in Victoria. What is the main message you want to get through to residents who are holidaying in this extreme weather?
Yeah, thanks, Sam. Really important this time as people are trying to relax, that they also be aware of their surroundings. So if you're camping near river and creek areas where you're seeing this rain coming through, or you know that those river systems may be impacted by rain, move to higher ground now rather than later. As I said, we're going to get rain overnight. We're going to see flash flooding impacts as well as longer term riverine impacts from Monday through to Wednesday. So move to higher ground, that's number one. Don't camp under trees during this weather system. And importantly, flash flooding risk is more dangerous arguably overnight because you certainly can't tell the gauge or the flash flood conditions that are around you. So certainly we remind people if it's flooded, forget it. You're driving a car, not a boat. They don't float. So just stay away from waters, stay in higher ground and stay safe.
David, where are most of your rescues taking place right now?
Yeah, fortunately we don't have, we have requests for assistance that our members are attending at the moment. To my knowledge, we don't have any flood rescues occurring at this time, but we have teams in place to effect those. It's a timely reminder that there's been 20 flood rescues in Victoria since the start of this year, and that's 20 flood rescues too many. It puts others' lives at risk to effect the rescue, and the safest way is just don't enter the flood water.
Just lastly, David, what is a key message you want to get to residents, particularly overnight tonight into Monday morning?
Yeah, certainly. Just to watch the rain tonight, it will be constant and continuous. If you don't need to be on the roads, don't be on the roads. If you are in low-lying areas near creeks that swell or rivers that are problematic in your local area, and you should know that, think about what you might do now about moving to high ground tonight. We don't expect any particular riverine inundations overnight, but some of the townships that we'll be asking to be on alert over the next few days will be Wangaratta, Shepparton, and even Rochester through into the 10th of January. So over the next couple of days, and we'll keep people abreast of developments there. But for tonight, flash flooding is the risk. Stay on high ground, stay dry, and if you need SES support, you can call us on 132 500. If it's a life emergency, 000 every time.
Victoria SES State Agency Commander David Baker, thanks so much for your time and information this evening.
Thanks, Sam. Stay safe.